For more than 20 years, the Irish rock band U2 has headlined rock and roll stages worldwide, with lead singer and frontman Bono of U2 leading the way. In the early 80s, U2 made their name as a political punk band protesting the ongoing fighting in Ireland between the Protestants and the Catholics. By the mid-80s, U2 discovered American blues and gospel and became rock's hottest ticket. In the 90s, U2 went over the top with a bigger-than-life concept called Zoo TV. The idea was that privacy had all but left us, and that we're living in an age where if something happened, it would be on at least one channel. By the millennium, U2's Elevation Tour helped heal a wounded post-9/11 world. Bono, how has U2 managed to be socially and musically relevant for so long?
We just follow, our stereo, you're always, just what you're listening to seeps into you, and it comes out as U2. But, if you stop, was it Bob Dylan who said, "He not busy being born is busy dying"?
With or without U2, Bono is constantly being born.
For your ongoing contributions to the arts and humankind, on this beautiful day, the trustees of the University of Pennsylvania are pleased to confer upon you, Bono, the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
He was awarded an honorary doctorate of law this past spring at the UPenn's commencement, and he shared with the graduates a moment that changed his life. It was in 1985, shortly after Live Aid. Bono and his wife were spending a month volunteering in Ethiopia when a local man approached him.
And I was looking puzzled, and he said, "You must take my son, because if you don't take my son will surely die. If you take him, he will go back to where he is and get an education, probably like the ones we're talking about today." And of course I said, I had to say no, that was the rules there. And I walked away from that, and I have never really walked away from it. But I think about that boy and that man. And that's when I started this journey that's brought me here into this stadium. Because at that moment, I became the worst scourge on God's green earth, a rock star with a cause.
That cause has taken Bono to see places and people uncommon to rock stars. He met with Pope John Paul II to discuss lessening the debt of African nations. He lobbied U.S. senators for funding to combat the African AIDS crises. And last year, Bono was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Bono is a founder of DATA, Debt, AIDS, and Trade Relief for Africa. And this past May, he and other African activists launched the One campaign at Independence Mall.
For someone of his caliber, doing what he does best, it kind of inspires someone like me who's trying to build a hospital in Africa.
I heard in one of your quotes you said that you yourself can't do a whole lot, but you know a lot of people who can. But then here you are on Time's 100 Most Influential list.
Yeah, but the people who can are the people who came today, and I was amazed at that crowd today. Sunday afternoon, you think people are interested. And people are interested not just in what's going on in Africa, they're interested in what's going on with America and the way America is perceived by the outside world. That's important. They don't like seeing their flag dragged through the dirt.
Philadelphia was chosen as the birthplace for the One campaign because, after all, the city of brotherly love is birthplace to another grand idea, the United States.
Senator Spector, this is Bono and a few friends. The idea of America, that anything is possible. Hey, is that the moon up there? Wow, let's get up there, take a walk, bring a piece back, That America. That's the America I'm a fan of. America is an idea, not just a country, it's an idea. It's about the idea that anything's possible, but it's also about the idea that with great power comes great responsibility.
Every day, 6,300 Africans die from AIDS, and 9,500 more Africans contract AIDS every day. As Bono told me, American support of Africa is not a cause, it's an emergency.
Here's a continent in flames. You're the fire brigade. Put the fire out. It's not going to cost that much money. in comparison to what happens when the fire gets out of control and the chaos that brings disorder and terrorism feeds off that. Please, you know, this is an achievable goal. This is doable.
You're talking about America as an idea.
I'm talking about, yes, America it's an idea. It's not just a country.
Do you think we've become somewhat complacent with that idea?
Oh, I don't think anymore. After 9/11, people are really not complacent anymore. I don't know. And I mean, my friends who are Americans are scratching their head on a daily basis. And, you know, we think the AIDS emergency is a chance for America to actually do what it's best at. This is it's not just as depressing as the statistics you'll hear. It's actually an inspiring thought that you can change the world. And the alternative is not nice. Even if you didn't believe that Africans were equal to Americans, which they are in the eyes of God, you'd still want to get the drugs out there just because it's out of political opportunism. You know, paint them red, white, and blue, get them out there.
Eventually, our grandchildren will read about what our generation did in the history books. They'll read about the internet, the war on terror, and they'll read about what a generation did or did not do to let an entire continent go down in flames.
We're the first generation that could look at poverty and disease, look across the ocean to Africa, and say with a straight face, we can be the first to end the sort of stupid, extreme poverty where in a world of plenty, a child can die for lack of food in its belly. We can be the first generation. It might take a while, but we can be that generation that says no to stupid poverty.
Ring the Liberty Bell for a generation that says yes. Take our life-saving drugs at a discount. We're going to ring it for the generation that says no to people starving in an age of plenty. We're going to ring it for the generation that says yes, Africans are equal to us. We're going to ring it for the generation that says where you live in the world does not depend on whether you will live. We're going to ring it for the generation that says because we can, we must. We will.
And like the lyrics to a popular U2 song, Bono has become one man in the name of love. For Visions, I'm Art Rubalcava.